Well, hey there, folks. I'm Meteorologist Matt Barrentine. Hope you're having yourself a really good afternoon. I mean, it's nice out there, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of gray. Yeah, it's not the prettiest day, but it's comfortable. The temperatures are good. There's a nice breeze out there to certainly make things feel pretty nice. So it's a pretty day, just a bit of a gray day out ahead of the next system that is eventually going to bring us at least some rain. So here's where we're at right now. You can see temperatures generally in the 70s. I think Gulf Shore is sitting at 82 right now. It's actually doing pretty good. 70 though in Destin, 74 in Navarre, 76 in Bruton, 77 in Grove Hill. So nice, mild, and warm afternoon for us here across the Gulf Coast. Let me go ahead and get you the big picture. So here's what's happening. Southerly flow. We've had those southerly breezes all day. Clouds are coming in from the west and the upper levels of the atmosphere, and that's what we've been seeing. Now, there are some breaks in the clouds, so I think as we go a little bit later into the afternoon, we'll actually see a bit more sunshine. Notice the rain isn't anywhere nearby us at this point, so we're doing good in that sense. And if you got some things you need to do tonight, just walk the dog or get outside for a little bit, maybe get yourself a walk-in or something like that, or just run to the grocery store. Kids have soccer practice or baseball practice. We're going to be good tonight. I mean, we're talking upper 60s after sunset, so it's going to be very comfortable, short sleeves even into the evening tonight, so no worries there. All right, Futurecast. Put this thing into motion. This is our HRRR. It's our highest resolution model. 7 a.m. in the morning, pretty quiet, still a bit breezy out of the south. As we get into the afternoon, that's lunchtime, we are going to see some rain moving in. Scattered showers, 30 to 40% chance. This won't be big thunderstorms. This won't be very heavy, and this will be very quick moving. That's 4 o'clock, so maybe about the time you're picking up the kids from school, that kind of thing, you may run into a few showers. That will move out fairly quickly, and it will be done. And now look at the winds coming in out of the north or northeast. So we'll be on the back side of a front that will cool us off. Now, we're not going to see huge drops. Some folks in the Midwest are going to get absolutely blasted by a big cold blast, but that cold blast is going to travel more sort of west to east across the northern half of the country. It's not going to be diving from north to south so much. So we'll cool off, but we're not going to get into the bitterly cold temperatures. So that's the good news for us, which is typical at this time of year. We're starting to move past wintertime, and we get late February going into early March. We really are getting past our coldest days at this point because the days are now longer, and we don't see the systems making that usually all the way down to us. Here's tomorrow. 60s in the morning, so nice and pleasant. Maybe a little bit of sunshine in the morning, but then after that, we turn cloudy, mid-70s as we head late in the morning. The afternoon should be near 80 degrees in the afternoon tomorrow. Upper 70s, low 80s, that's what we're looking at tomorrow. Clouds, 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 and eventually the possibility of showers. I just showed you that on the Futurecast. Some showers are going to be possible on the high-resolution Futurecast. Let's check out the beach weather for tomorrow, obviously dealing with the rain chances. Once again, won't be a big deal, but just something to be aware of. Temperatures should be in the low 70s out there for us tomorrow. We'll keep that rip current risk in the high range tomorrow, and then in the medium range Thursday and Friday. I didn't even know. That's interesting. This graphic has sound to it, and I've never heard it before because it's coming through some speaker back here. All right, so anyway, high rip current risk tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, medium rip current risk out there for us. Sorry, I was a little thrown off by the graphic actually having noise. It doesn't typically happen. All right, so this is a shot of Pensacola Beach from last summer. Look at this. See all those? There's the beach. You can see the waves crashing, and in between the crashing waves, what looks like almost like streams. Of course, those aren't streams. Those are rip currents. And you can see there was a bunch on that day. Bunch of rip currents. So that's what you're looking for. It can be kind of counterintuitive in a way because you want to look for the areas where the waves are not breaking. See, the waves will be coming on in, and then you'll see a spot in between the waves. And that spot between the waves, to your eyes, looks calm. And that's the problem. A lot of folks go, oh, that's where we need to swim. It's calm there. No, it's not. The reason there's no waves there is because the rip current is ripping backwards and knocking down the waves there. So it actually creates what looks like a clear, calm area. The water typically is darker there. telltale sign you may be able to see some debris or foam moving away from shore, but not always. So be aware of that. Where if this big wave's crashing and there's a spot in between where there's no waves, that's probably a rip current. Big waves crashing anyway, you probably don't want to get in the water. So a lot of times, rip currents are I'm talking about this more because this is Rip Current Awareness Week. It is by far the #1 killer here on the Gulf Coast. And sadly, it's so many times it's our visitors, folks coming in for beach vacations. It's completely tragic and it's completely avoidable. So we want to make sure everybody knows about rip currents, what to look for. Watch those beach flags. But even when the beach flags, are yellow, it's possible to have rip currents out there. So it's not just the red flags. If you have yellow flags, still keep an eye on the surf. And because, there always can be local conditions. And conditions can change. The winds can pick up. The tides can pick up. That can create rip currents. And, of course, it also depends on what we call bathymetry. Bathymetry is the topography underwater. And usually what's happening here is that you have a little bit of a sandbar. How often have you gone to the beach? You walk out in the water, and it gets real deep, like up to your chest, and then you start walking up onto a sandbar about 20 yards offshore, right? It's very typical, just because of the way it works. And what happens when you have that sandbar, just a foot or two underwater usually, and there's a break in that sandbar, well, that's where the water can rush back out in the rip current. So bathymetry is sort of that topography underwater, that sandbar. When you get those, like I said, even on a yellow flag day and a day that seems a little more calm, if that sort of thing sets up, even in a relatively calm area, you could have a rip current. Maybe not as strong as a rough day, but it doesn't take a very strong one. Remember, most of us can't swim that fast. And rip currents, 3 or 4 mile an hour rip current, you can't swim against that, okay? It's like being on a treadmill and just going and not getting anywhere. So that's why you also want to swim, parallel to shore. Once you get picked up by it, you definitely do not want to try to swim against it. I know unfortunately, that's what most people are trying to do. But no, you want to swim out to the sides either way and then come back. Because there is no rip current over here or over here. So if you can get out of it to the side, you can swim back. That's what you're trying to do there. All right, enough of that, I guess. Let me get back to the maps here. Of course, now things have popped up. All right, so let's look at your next several days. Once again, some spotty scattered showers tomorrow in the afternoon, 3, 4, 5 o'clock. It won't last very long, won't be a big deal, but they'll be out there. Thursday, I think we're okay with rain, but it will be cooler. Now, remember I talked about some folks in the Midwest are going to be looking at an Arctic blast. Well, for us, we're just going to chill out, basically down to about normal temperatures. We're a little above normal today, obviously. And then Friday, look at that, steady rain and a 70% chance. So here's Friday on the Futurecast. You can see it's not looking great. Heavy rain is going to be a real possibility. I think we get maybe an inch or two of rain here on Friday. Nothing severe. We don't have any severe parameters out there for Friday, but this is just going to be probably all day or most of the day kind of rain event. So if you have anything you're doing on Friday, trying to be outside, it's going to be very difficult. Saturday, we're going to continue to see some rain around. I don't think it'll be quite as, wall to wall like I'm thinking for Friday, but the rain chances are high enough to where it really could impact your Saturday plans if you have games or something like that with the kiddos. Be a good time to download our Fox 10 weather app. It has a good radar on our weather app. I'm not just tooting our own horn. For years, obviously, as a meteorologist, I've always used a paid radar app. That's, pro-level radar app. I've done that for years. And of all the free ones out there, ours is really great. And I find myself using it quite a bit because it's quicker than the Pro app. The Pro app, you got to, fumble around with it, do a few things. The Pro app has more bells and whistles, obviously. You're paying for it. But our Fox 10 weather app works really good. And it works, the good thing about it, too, is it works everywhere. Gray, our company that owns us, is a nationwide company. and it works just as well here as it does in Seattle or, you know, up in Maine or wherever. Anywhere in this country, you just pop up with that radar. If I've been on vacation, and it's a lot easier than using my Pro Radar app because I don't have to reset anything. I can just go right into it and look. So once again, that's our Fox 10 weather app. Also, if you may be watching this on Facebook, because we do these on Facebook, YouTube, and on our weather app, pick up our weather app as well for those times. Say you have severe weather, you're watching us on TV, your power goes out. All you have to do is go to your phone, your iPad, click on the app, go to look live, and you're right back into the coverage. So that's another great reason to have it. All right, so back to this. Obviously dealing with rain. Friday, March 1st, by the way, Thursday is the leap day. Doesn't count, right? Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, pretty good chance of rain. Still going to have some scattered showers around on Sunday. Then you look into Monday and Tuesday, and you still see pretty significant rain chances. It may be one of those deals where at this time of year this can happen, where you get a system that kind of drags down here, then just kind of stalls out, and then several systems will kind of work their way along the Gulf Coast, and that looks to be about what's happening as we go into the very first week of March. Remember, we've had like 2 weeks of beautiful weather. So we're getting our payback as we head into March. It looks like the first week of March is not going to be pretty. In fact, I'll go and put up the long-range 10-day. So this will take us straight through the first, 7-8 days of March. You know, got big rain chances all the way through. All the way, I mean, look, rain, rain, and rain. So all Monday through Friday next week, you got rain chances. And they're not like 20% or 30%. They're like 60% each day. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to rain every single day. We may see this system kind of move or eventually kind of move its way out. But right now, at least the last few days, that's what the models have been saying, that we're going to be in a wet pattern. We may get a day or two off here or there, but we're likely going to be in a wet pattern from Friday on, okay? So just be prepared for that. We're going to be dealing with rain off and on through the first week of March. So hope you've enjoyed. Well, one thing to notice, too, is that the temperatures, we do get that brief cool-off after tomorrow for Thursday and a little bit into Friday. You see dropping down into the upper 40s to around 50, only in the 60s in the afternoon. But then after that, we're right up into the 70s all the way through. And once we get this rain falling, I'm telling you, our yards are going to think it's springtime, and things are going to start to shoot on up, whether it's the weeds, your grass, that kind of thing. So we're probably going to turn green pretty quickly. That can happen around here. So we're going to go from winter into spring fairly fast. Now, that said, we may not be done with cold weather just yet. Usually we get like one last swipe from winter sometime about mid-March. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. I don't see that yet, but obviously it's a possibility, and it typically happens. So if you do get out there and get over anxious and start planning stuff out there, be aware that you could lose it if we get one more cold snap. I don't think we'll get 2, 3, or 4 cold snaps from this point on. We may get one, or we may get none. So we'll have to wait and see. Once again, I'm Meteorologist Matt Barrentine. Thank you so much for joining us here. Now let me ramble on. Hope you have yourself a great day. We will catch up with you soon. I got Fox 10 News at 3 o'clock coming up.